Okay, boys and girls, we just read the story of Hansel and Gretel. So now we are going to complete the graphic organizer to answer all of those questions that we talked about from our previous video. So remember, when we are asking and answering questions, we're going to be looking for who the characters are in the story, when does the story take place, where does the story take place, so those two things are the setting, the problem in the story, so what happens, why did it happen, and how did the problem get solved. So let's go to our graphic organizer. So in our story, Hansel and Gretel, let's think about who the characters were in the story. So for this story, we had Hansel, Gretel, the stepmother, the woodcutter, which was their father, and the old woman, which was the witch who lived in the candy cottage in the forest. And when did the story take place? There were different times that the story took place. They weren't just, it didn't just happen all at one time. So some of the things in the story happened during the day, and some of the things happened during the nighttime. All right, and then it's easiest just to go ahead and complete the next setting question. So I'm going to skip over here to where it says where, and let's think about where the story took place. So one of the places was in Hansel and Gretel's home. Another place was the forest, and then the gingerbread house, which was the witch's house. And I just realized I spelled her name correctly. Let me fix that. So another place was the witch's house. Now, what was the problem in the story? So remember, the evil stepmother wanted to get rid of Hansel and Gretel. And for this part, also for the what, you're also telling about the beginning, middle, and end. So it's all the different things that happened, the events, and the problem. So the evil stepmother wanted to get rid of Hansel and Gretel, and she sent them off in the forest to get lost. They met a witch with lots of candy, and she locked up Hansel to fatten him up and eat him. So that tells a little bit about the beginning and middle and the end of the story, but it also tells about what the problem is. So the problem in the story is that Hansel is locked up, and the witch is trying to fatten him up and eat him. Why did the problem happen? So our next question, why did the problem happen? The evil stepmother was wanting to get rid of Hansel and Gretel, so that's why it happened. She took them out to the forest. They got lost in the forest. And because they got lost in the forest, they met the evil witch when they came upon her cottage. So that's why the problem of Hansel getting locked up happened. And then how is the last box that tells us how the problem was solved. So to solve the problem, or how the problem was solved, was the old witch decided that it was time to eat Hansel. She told Gretel to build a fire, and then Gretel pushed her in the fire. Hansel and Gretel were able to escape. So they escaped, and while they were escaping, they found the old witch's chest full of coins, and they took the coins. So we've been able to answer all of the who, what, where, when, why, and how questions for the story. We were able to tell who the characters were. We were able to tell when and where the story took place. We were able to tell what happened in the story and what the problem was. We were able to tell why there was a problem and how the problem was solved. So all of these are questions that you are going to be answering and asking and answering to yourself as you read a story. So these are strategies that good readers do in order to help them understand the story. All right, boys and girls, that's it for today. So be thinking about asking and answering questions, because you will be completing some asking and answering questions in this same format with other stories later on. Have a great day.